Recently, Chinese media reported a breakthrough in the country's high-end CNC machine tool industry, claiming that the precision control has reached new levels, down to the micron scale. The person in charge stated that this machine tool breaks the foreign technology monopoly, achieving micron-level precision motion control. However, some vloggers and online commentators pointed out that the machine tool shown in the report bore an international brand logo, sparking heated discussions.
配个视频也太敷衍了。
The video accompanying the domestic high-end mother machine is too sloppy. It shows only two logos. One is for a machine produced by a collaboration between a German company, DMG, and a Japanese firm. The other is for a manual 3-jaw chuck, branded by Germany's Schunk. Is it really appropriate to produce domestic machines using imported equipment? This led to several commentators questioning whether this domestic breakthrough had been overhyped. Many sarcastically remarked that the logo had been removed, fearing that it would void the warranty and that the company wouldn't be able to repair it. Others joked that it was just a shell made in China, with no real technological advancements. Some even suggested that breaking the foreign technology monopoly simply meant that the product was now available for sale to Chinese customers. Beyond the controversy over the promotional video, there has been ongoing debate within the industry about the actual capabilities of domestic high-end machine tools.
前一天发了国内外机床的对比的视频，被骂了好几天。
The video comparing domestic and international machine tools that I posted a few days ago received a lot of criticism. It's fine. I just want to ask how many machine shop owners have bought domestic high-end machines only to see the precision deteriorate over time. In the end, they still rely on imported parts to fix the issues. Our mid and low-end machine tools dominate the global market with an 85% share, but the gap in high-end 5-axis machines is obvious. Is it true that CNC algorithms haven't been developed? Is it true that key components are all imported? Is it true that there are shortcuts in casting and aging processes? China is a major player in machine tool production, but is not considered a leading force in the field. While the country has the largest production volume and market size in the world, many domestic machine tools are essentially assembly machines, rather than products of advanced domestic technology. Domestic machine tools still have a long way to go, from merely being usable to becoming highly efficient. One commentator, during a live stream, stated that China's machine tools are at least 20 years behind international technology, a remark that sparked criticism from patriotic commentators.
上次呢，我跟周建华董事长连线的时候啊，我说过这个中国的机床跟国外的差距最少20年。
When I spoke to Chairman Zhou Jianhua last time, I told him that China's machine tools are at least 20 years behind international ones. As a result, I was attacked by some trolls in the live stream. They don't know anything. The biggest joke is when amateurs mock experts. Let me ask you, where do the best systems come from? Where are the best encoders made? The best ball screws? The best bearings? The best spindles? The best servos and drives? All of them come from abroad. A common industry sentiment in this debate is that insiders are worried, while outsiders lead. Some industry professionals have stated that, unless a miracle happens, it will take at least 20 years to catch up, let alone surpass international technology. They argued that crucial components like systems, ball screws, and bearings would likely need to come from Taiwan for China to make significant progress. Without relying on Taiwanese technology, they said, there would be no hope for progress within the next 30 years. The debate intensified when the question arose whether domestic high-end machine tools have surpassed their counterparts in Europe, the US, and Japan.
很多外行跟我抬杠说，中国的机床已经超过了欧美日的高端机床。
Many amateurs argue with me, saying that Chinese machine tools have surpassed the high-end ones from Europe, the US, and Japan. Today, we won't discuss national pride or emotions. We'll focus on the facts. Has any domestic machine tool been able to match or exceed the precision and reliability of machines from Yamazaki Mazak? This topic has drawn significant attention in the public debate, but in the field of precision manufacturing, data and time losses are always telling. In the global machine tool industry hierarchy, China's domestic brands hold a less than ideal position. Industry insiders have compiled rankings of CNC machine tool brands.
中国机床技术跟世界顶级还差多远的路。
How far behind China's machine tool technology is from the world's top level? If we ranked CNC machines, the 6th tier would consist entirely of domestic brands: Haiteng, Best, Yiming, and Doucen. The 5th tier would include brands such as the Beijing Electromechanical Institute, Guosheng, Nubest, Taylor, and Kaida. The 4th tier would consist of mainland firms like Baofeng, Tachun, Qiaofeng, Taiyi, as well as the Taiwanese brands Litz High Tech, Daqiao, and Leadwell. The third tier would include joint venture brands like BYJC, Dawei, and Little Giant, US brands like Hardridge and Haas, Korean brands Doosan, Hyundai, and Huaqian, and Taiwanese brands Yaoqin Machinery, E-Star Machine Tools, Victor Taichung, and Quickjet. The second tier would include Germany's DMG Mori and Hallerb's Precision, Heimer, Japan's Mazak and Makino, Italy's Fidai, and Spain's Danabat. The first tier would comprise brands from only 3 countries: Switzerland's Micron, Bumotec, and Straussach, Germany's Hermle, Grob, and Altmetall, and Japan's Yasta. At the 2025 China International Machine Tool Exhibition, or CIMT 2025, held in Beijing, Gree Electric showcased its high-speed dual 5-axis gantry processing center and claimed that the product's export ratio was over 75%, asserting that it had entered the European and American high-end markets. This claim sparked widespread debate. In response, industry professionals released their own assessments.
哪个地方超车了？我怎么不知道哪个地方会超车？
Where's the breakthrough? I don't see it. At the Beijing exhibition, Gree just showcased this machine tool with dual spindles and dual stations. It won an award at the Geneva Invention Exhibition, which is respectable, but there's room for manipulation. Those in the know understand. Gree has always been at the forefront of the internet, with excellent control over traffic, promotion, and marketing strategies. Traffic is often driven by emotions, and it's very easy to make it go viral under the banner of patriotism. But when we look at it from an industry perspective, we remain more rational. First, the 75% figure isn't the share of high-end machine tools in Europe. It actually refers to our production. For every 100 machines we make, 75 are exported, similar to dedicated machines. A large part of the market is for battery packs and structural parts, with designs targeting specific processes. 2 stations, with an AC swivel head, are ideal for small capacity processing, but since it's a specialized machine, it's hard to evaluate its high-end capabilities. While the average viewer might see phrases like 5-axis linkage, exports to Europe and the US, international awards, and domestic breakthrough, industry professionals are more focused on the real-world application scenarios, processing logic, and long-term industrial capabilities of this equipment. In engineering, dedicated machines and general high-end 5-axis machines are not the same. A dedicated machine is usually designed for a specific processing route, such as for EV battery packs, structural parts, or stamped profiles. These machines can be highly efficient in specific applications, offering strong cost advantages, but they don't have the true top-tier 5-axis capabilities needed for aerospace, complex surface processing, or ultra-high degree of freedom linkage control. The controversy surrounding the Exhibition of Inventions, Geneva, has also resurfaced. Some commentators humorously remarked that at the exhibition, 200 projects from China received awards, including 75 gold medals, with the smallest winner being a primary school student. The Exhibition of Inventions Geneva, held in Switzerland, is an internationally recognized event for inventions. Many companies, universities, and research teams exhibit their patents, devices, or technological concepts and compete for awards. Because of its international nature, plus the Swiss and Invention Exhibition labels, it is often presented in China as a form of world-class technology recognition. But the number of awarded projects is large, and the proportion of gold and silver medals is significant. Projects from companies, universities, and even students all have the same chance to win awards, so this event is more of a platform for showcasing inventions rather than a ranking of industrial strength. Meanwhile, another video discussion of 5-axis linkage machine tools has sparked further debates among industry professionals.
其他你说什么我都信。
You can say whatever you want, but when it comes to industrial machine tools, I've got to call you out. This product was seen at an industrial tech exhibition, and someone claimed it was a 5-axis linkage machine tool. When I saw this comment, it reminded me of something else. The inspiration for this might have come from an international drilling platform. If I remember correctly, a true 5-axis linkage machine should look like this. The x-axis moves horizontally, the y-axis moves forward and backward, the z-axis moves up and down, the a-axis rotates the turntable, and the c-axis rotates the disc. That's the standard 5-axis machine. As for the device in the comment, if anyone knows what it's for, feel free to explain. What exactly was it invented for in the industrial field? I can understand a knowledge gap, but can we really work like this in the industrial sector? Is there a shortcut? A way to overtake the competition? In the comments section, Many people pointed out that the term 5-axis linkage machine tool is a registered trademark, similar to how Qianhe 0 is a registered trademark. There's no issue with using it, but some have questioned the true nature of this machine tool. Industrial mother machines typically refer to the machines that create other machines, specifically computer numerical control, or CNC machine tools. These are essential in manufacturing. Automotive engines are processed using them, mobile phone frames are cut, and aircraft turbine blades are precisely made. They are the backbone of industrial productivity. Basic machine tools typically have 3 axes, the X, Y, and Z axes, while high-end CNC machines operate with 5 axes, or even 7 or 9. Before the Domestic Mother Machine report, Chinese state media had already launched a campaign with stories about great national craftsmen. In these narratives, craftsmen manually crafted aerospace components and optical lenses. When even the most advanced CNC machines couldn't meet precision standards, great national craftsmen were said to enhance them by polishing them by hand or using tactile methods. There are even stories of veteran technicians who can detect which gear has worn down by 0.05 millimeters just by listening to the sound of a running engine, with their ear pressed against it. There's also the story of a 14-year-old boy crafting a turbine engine by hand. These anti-science industrial promotions contradict modern physics principles. Behind them lies a deeply rooted ascetic mentality in Chinese communist culture. State media attempts to keep alive past political mobilization tactics, like the Iron Man spirit and Lei Feng, reducing complex industrial production to personal struggles and dedication, rather than acknowledging modern laws, systems, and technology. The core issue in China's attempt to catch up with Europe and the US in machine tool production isn't found in the surface-level specifications, but rather in the industrial foundation and professional ethics that have long been overlooked. It's not that we don't have CNC machines, it's that we haven't built a proper CNC machine, what we call the mother machine. Just because a machine can stand on its own doesn't mean it's a good machine. Does slapping a Chinese name on foreign technology suddenly make it Chinese technology? We keep slashing prices, but can we really establish ourselves globally? One comment really got me. Touch the bed casing on your machine. Is it still warm? Honestly, how many manufacturers can achieve true stability? The issue isn't missing parts or equipment, it's our overall industrial capability that we lack. One commentator emphasized that the true challenge in surpassing Europe and the US lies not in technology, but in craftsmanship and ingenuity. Take a look at this, guys. This is a grinding machine produced by a state-owned enterprise. If you look at the area where the sheet metal connects to the bed, you'll see glue on the screws. What's the purpose of this glue? What does it tell us about this machine? A commentator from Zhejiang shared their frustration. The grinding machine leaked oil as soon as it came off of the production line, and workers had to apply glue while working. This repair-as-you-go situation directly contradicted the claims of experts who argued that China was leading the way. What China's machine tool industry is lacking most is not any single component, but its overall industrial capacity. If a company can't even prevent oil leaks or avoid fire hazards, how can it be trusted to achieve micron-level precision? The real gap is revealed over time. One blogger showcased a Nagase grinding machine, imported from Japan, which had been in operation for over 20 years, prompting some reflection from viewers.
Why is it that machine tools made decades ago are still hard to replicate today? This is the Nagase grinding machine we imported from Japan last month. 20 years later, its grinding precision for this size is still highly authoritative and consistent with its original factory precision. Thanks to Nagase's water-based dynamic balancing system, its balance precision can be maintained within 0.04 microns. The feed precision of the spindle reaches 0.1 microns. Even when we use a regular 46 grit grinding wheel to level the table, the magnetic surface showed a mirror-like finish. We ground 6 blocks to the same height, and using the tie height gauge, which has a 0.2 micron instrument error, we found the height difference was less than 0.5 microns. Even with this range, it uses 4 axes, full static pressure guides, including the y-axis, which is affected by gravity. This technology, which was already mature 20 years ago, is still not fully understood by some people.
This stark contrast made the voices claiming catching up to the US and Japan seem even more unrealistic. Commenters pointed out, let those trapped in their own small world take a good look. This is the real gap. The tragedy of China's machine tool industry is that while it holds the world's largest market size, it has lost its scientific direction in a rush of political propaganda. The current situation, insiders are worried while outsiders are far ahead, is a result of a system that encourages shortcut thinking instead of steady accumulation. The international brand logo discovered on the machine not only embarrassed state media, but also revealed a harsh truth. If basic craftsmanship is being held together with glue, how can China expect to produce an honest, reliable mother machine? As the comments section pointed out, in today's industrial era, where falsification has become common, only by acknowledging the gap and returning to basic principles can China's manufacturing industry move forward and escape the fog created by false advertising. In this absurd world, where lies, hype, and precision parts intersect, the international brand logo that was deliberately hidden but eventually revealed is not just a publicity mistake. It's a silent protest against the false prosperity of China's great power manufacturing. When a country's industrial future depends not on decades of steady work in laboratories, but on the filters of propaganda and emotional algorithms of nationalistic content, when their so-called breakthroughs rely on gluing to cover up flaws, and anti-science mysticism like handcrafting nanometers to mask technological gaps, the damage done is not just to micron-level precision, but to the integrity of China as a civilized society. Industrial civilization is a long journey that involves both laws and ethics. It does not believe in shortcuts or in the logic that equates brand labels with innovation. Those imported grinding machines from 20 years ago stand as silent monuments in the workshops, mocking every transient lie. History will ultimately show that a manufacturing empire built on sand, no matter how much it's polished, cannot hide its international brand flaws. If China cannot break free from this false political narrative and restore its respect for universal values and objective laws, its manufacturing will ultimately collapse, lost in the fog created by self-delusion. What China needs to recognize is not just the 20-year technological gap with Europe, the US, and Japan, but the erosion of its integrity. This gap is accelerating under the illusion of being ahead in manufacturing, but it is rapidly leading the country towards failure.